let's now take a look at some of the issues relating to women traders in the Ghanaian market and some of the challenges they face. Joining us now is Mrs. Comfort Odro Nyako, a former market woman and also CEO of the Makola Foundation. We have Professor Joseph Ofori Dankwa, a professor of management at, is it? Saginaw. I just wanted to get that right because, and in fact, it's a good starting point just to know about the institution and what they do. Can you tell us a brief history about it?
So the Saginaw Valley State University is one of the public universities in the state of Michigan, and I hold the endowed chair in international business at the Kamuna. Scott L. Kamuna College of Business.
Wow, that's amazing. Now we know, at least. So let's get to it, into the dynamics of it. Ms. Comfort, the point about women and some of the unique challenges they face when trading. You've seen the landscape, you've been there, so you know some of the challenges women face. Which one comes on top of the list for?
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity granted me this afternoon to expose some of the jolts that affect women traders or market women in Ghana. In fact, there are many, but the few that I can touch on right now is the dynamic digital platforms that are available now, which are mostly not exposed to the market women, but this is a digital world, and everybody must get along and move with it. So how do they also come in? And secondly, there are a few financial literacy programs that must be exposed to them with the local languages or in the local languages.
Because very often we're doing everything in English.
Which they lack now. And so I was fortunate. I had my education before entering the market, so it wasn't surprising that I was able to make it. Within 3 years, I had acquired a lot of personal assets and business assets.
Amazing.
And so now one may ask why the Makola Foundation. So I was faced by some of these jolts, not out of a lack of knowledge in financial literacy or digital literacy, but I was faced by jolts that were beyond me. And that brought about the formation or the establishment of the Makola Foundation, of which Prof is the founder and I'm also a co-founder. So I exposed some of the jolts that faced me at the marketplaces to Prof, and Prof also did well to help to establish the foundation, which we are using this foundation to help other women to get on board.
So let's get to it then,
to
Prof.
be more inclusive in this digital age.
Prof, let's get to it then. Now we know why the foundation was formed. How are you going about influencing change in the space, in the informal sector?
I think one of the things we're doing is to create a sharpened awareness of the nature of the jolts that these market women face. Sometimes we use the words challenge. But in our opinion,
shouldn't we describe?
Challenge does not capture. It does not effectively reflect the trauma that these very talented ladies and women who work in our markets they face. A fire takes place. Person's income totally destroyed. But that's just one. Then when you multiply it with the floods, we know that it will rain. And yet still, the floods. But that's just one part. And then when COVID hit, that's a whole different ballgame. And so a group of us, an eclectic group, including the Makola Foundation, have been working to try to heighten awareness to these jolts, to more systematically represent them, and just to be able to say, hey, in this our world, when these jolts happen, what happens to
our
you?
people? Are you doing it mainly in the form of education? What approach are you using towards dealing with that?
So what we're trying to do is a multi-faceted approach.
Yes.
And one of our approaches is gathering different groups of experts in different areas. For example, someone who has tremendous information about fires, someone who has information about security, because the market women sometimes face all sorts of very, very traumatic security-oriented issues. Someone who is, even more recently, the influx of Chinese traders to the marketplace could be seen as a very, very powerful jolt. And so how are these jolts affecting our women? What is currently being done? And what recommendations?
I see.
Okay.
So how about the issue of targeting these women, identifying them, meeting them, and periodically engaging them? Have you been doing that?
Yes, I've been doing that because I've been with them.
Okay.
I was at the Makola market, or where some people call Okanshi market, for years.
Okay.
And then I established...
You've been doing that for
years. I started Makola market at the year 2004.
That's a long time ago.
Yes, but for a few hitches here and there, the same joke. That kicked me out of Makola, sent me to Kaneshi Market behind the post office, where I rented 4 shops and started doing what I was doing at Makola again. Yet another jolt, fire.
Oh.
Yes.
So
fire got all my wares, and then I couldn't get any helper. And so these are some of the things that we have seen and I have gone through, and I'm exposing other women to. And I'm so lucky to be part of the Ghana Enterprises Agency's training for women. And so I'm able to interact with them, and I catch them quick and then bring them to the
that's amazing.
For training.
But the issue about policy and how we can also get authorities, local assemblies to also partner your group. Prof, are you considering some of these options? Are these issues that you...
Yes, we are. And indeed, this coming Friday, we have a group that we're meeting to put together our thoughts and brainstorm and actually present our suggested recommendations. And then we've been very, very fortunate to have a very talented young man, relatively, Dr. Soji Tete, who is the chair of the Center for Social Justice, who is also working with us together with Professor Meishi in the United States. And part of what we are saying is that when these jolts take place, they do surely have some social justice implications. And I think Dr. Soji has been really emphasizing that aspect of that.
But beyond, just the market women, how about their families? Are you also, mindful about the remote factors that contribute to their success or otherwise in the market?
Yes, indeed. And we do have one gentleman, Inspector Kwesi Ofori, and his colleague, who are also emphasizing the fact that when these jolts take place and these market women are affected, it's not just them, but their families.
Extended.
And then, especially if they are the main breadwinner, the ripple effect of these jolts on these women into the communities are all very well so we have one of our members, and as I mentioned, Inspector Kwesiofori, who would be particularly emphasizing this aspect of the effect on the families and the effect on the communities.
Okay, so let's, of course, leave a final word with our viewers. I'm sure that probably you are open to inviting some more persons to join the network. What message would you want to?
So the message I have for women, entrepreneurs, women in business, market women, is that we rent people's shops to do business in them. But the major or principal jolt I felt at the marketplace was litigation about my shops. Unfortunately for me, I had 3 shops housed in the same building. And so when there was litigation on that shop, it affected everything, my business. And then when there was fire, the one I rented the shops from at Kaneshi, maybe didn't have insurance on the property. And these are major jolts that we must create the awareness. So my plea to other market women and fellow women entrepreneurs is that whenever or wherever we want to rent a place for our businesses, we should ensure that the landlord or landlady has the requisite insurance policy in place for the building. And then we as market women or entrepreneurs must ensure that we also insure our assets or our wares. We make sure we insure them, our inventory.
Prof, your final words?
Okay.
Final words is this greater need for what these women go through. And if it would help, we should be using this jolt lens. And perhaps if it would help to create awareness, we should be talking about the joltification that takes place in the marketplace.
I'm grateful that you have spent some time with us here on the Pulse.